Story 2, Unseen, Chapter 2, Something's Different. The insistent buzz of Mark's phone dragged him from the comforting stupor of sleep, a wanted discontinuity of the ominousness of the previous night. An exhalation of serenity escaped him as he stretched languidly, his arms reaching overhead, his neck and back arcuate in a satisfying release. The chorus of pops and cracks that accompanied the movement was a gratifying sensation.
Oh, right, my phone.
The memory of the late-night text surfaced. Mark pivoted back towards the crinkly sheets and retrieved the phone. It was a message from Grace, her worry radiating through the simple inquiry about his well-being. He smiled, for not only did her message confirm her care, but it also set the reality of his sending the text, a calming feeling against the portentous ambiguity of the night before. He tapped out a quick reply, promising to recount the strange events when they met at school. He placed the phone back on the nightstand, his mind now drifting to the misplaced item that had been plaguing him since yesterday afternoon. Mark, a man of particular habit who kept his life orderly, was tormented by the sudden, inexplicable absence of a single, forgotten thing, his graduation photo. The thought of it, lost somewhere in his perfectly organized world, felt like a creeping madness. The item held sentimental value, a photo Grace had taken and given to him with a bouquet of tulips. Tulips were not his favorite flower, but they were hers, and since they didn't irritate his nose, they had grown on him and become his preferred flower. The photo, as he remembered, was in his wallet, but it was gone, as if someone had taken it from the compartment. The unremitting trudge of time threatened to leave Mark stuck in the moment. An irritated grunt bolted from his throat as he realized the minutes were slipping away, and the hunt for his missing photograph, meant to reside safely within the worn leather of his wallet, would have to wait. Grabbing his towel from its hook, he hurried out of the room, a sense of urgency propelling him forward. As he rounded the corner into the living room, his foot snagged on something cylindrical, sending him sprawling forward. The object, undeniably a can, skittered across the floor, bumped against the sofa, and went under it as Mark scrambled to regain his footing.
Motherfucker!
A muttered curse followed. Mark ignored the minor mishap. A flicker of curiosity about the object he tripped over momentarily crossing his mind before being dismissed. The need for a shower and his looming lateness for school took precedence. He bolted towards the bathroom, the cool tiles a stark contrast to the lingering warmth of his bed, where he longed to stay. Yet, even beneath the spray of the shower, a persistent thought gnawed at the edges of Mark's awareness. The illogical, insistent feeling whispered that the cylindrical object was his dream's beer can. Toweling himself dry with brisk movements, he found himself drawn back to the living room, an inexplicable need for confirmation pulling him. Mark knelt on the floor, peering beneath the sofa's dusty underbelly. His breath hitched. There it was. The beer can, identical to the one in his dream. An influx of confusion and shock hit him as he pulled it out, the metallic chill seeping into his palm. Clutching the can, he turned towards the kitchen, his mind a whirlwind of unanswered questions. Just as he reached the doorway, Dexter, in his usual boisterous manner, collided with him.
Whoa, sorry, Mark.
Dexter exclaimed, his hand steadying Mark's arm. Mark stared back at him, his response a blank, uncomprehending gaze.
You all right?
Dexter's brow wrinkled with concern.
Yeah, sorry.
Mark stammered, the disturbing question of whether what happened last night was real or not still eclipsing the present moment. Then, Dexter's eyes fell upon the object clutched in Mark's hand. A slow shake of his head accompanied his gaze as he looked back at Mark, a wry smile playing on his lips.
You know the rules in this boarding house, man,
he said, his tone a brew of amusement and mock disapproval.
I know. No liquors and shit?
Mark replied absently, brushing past him, his mind still wrestling with the impossible. A hearty laugh followed him.
You stupid idiot! It's sharing the blessing!
A weak smile flickered across Mark's lips as he tossed the can into the overflowing trash bin. Despite Dexter's often irritating habits, a genuine warmth for him resided within Mark. He was, after all, the reason Mark had found this boarding house in the first place. He was a good friend in his own frenzied way. As Mark walked toward school, the unsettling dream clutched to him like a persistent shadow. Was it merely a figment of a restless night? Or had something truly strange occurred? The discovery of the can had only deepened the enigma, the image of his lifeless body on the sofa replaying in his mind with frightening clarity. It was the most intensely disturbing vision he had ever experienced. Even the flurry of the school grounds couldn't dispel the unease that had taken root within Mark. It felt as though his mind had been invaded, leaving behind a residue of fear and confusion. As he approached the school gate, a sudden visceral feeling laved over him, a premonition of something terrible about to happen. He didn't know what it was, but it felt like something was telling him not to proceed. An instinct urged him to retreat, hesitantly. Mark took a step back, and another, then another, until he found himself turning away from the entrance, the day's classes abandoned before they had even begun. Later that day, when the school day drew to a close, Grace, finding Mark's usual seat in class empty, texted him, her concern evident in her words. He replied, telling her he had returned to the boarding house and he wasn't feeling well. Soon after, she arrived, her brow furrowed with worry as she entered his room. She saw Mark looking troubled, his thoughts clearly elsewhere. She sat beside him and held his hand. The moment she touched him, Mark returned to his senses and looked at her worried face. To ease her worries, Mark smiled at her, and she sweetly returned the gesture. But the urge to tell her what was happening, the disturbing anomaly, persisted.
Honey, I have something to ask you.
Mark began, the weight of the previous night pressing down on him.
What is it? Is there something bothering you?
She asked softly, her eyes searching his.
Have you ever dreamt that you saw yourself dead, right there in front of you?
The question lingered, heavy with unspoken horror. She shook her head, her expression a mixture of confusion and concern.
Why do you ask?
I had this dream last night. I saw myself lifeless on a sofa. And the thing is, it didn't even feel like a dream. You see, there was this can.
What can?
She asked, cutting Mark off mid-sentence. She sensed he was about to talk about alcohol, and she strongly disliked his drinking habits. Once he started, he wouldn't stop until he was drunk and fell asleep wherever he happened to be, and that concerned her.
A can of beer,
he replied.
You drank beer last night?
Her tone held a hint of surprise that she was right all along.
Well, yes. Just in my dream, I just took a sip.
Knowing where this conversation was headed, Mark immediately told her that it was not what she had thought.
Okay, and then?
Her reply was intriguing, yet she was having doubts about Mark's story.
Then I dropped the can in the living room, but when I woke up this morning, I tripped over the same can as I was leaving my room.
Mark continued.
So, you really did drink beer last night, and you're just a little hungover and imagining things.
She smirked with both arms folded across her chest. Mark directly defended himself.
What? No, you're not understanding. I didn't drink last night, but that can was from my dream. And if you saw yourself dead in your dream, that's it, isn't it? That's when you'll die?
The word die, along with Mark's frightened expression, instantly shifted Grace's emotions from irritation to deep concern.
Honey, you're perfectly alive, as far as I can tell.
She stood up and gently cupped his chin, her touch reassuring.
You think too much about supernatural things. Come on.
She said, her voice softening.
Get dressed.
Why? Where are we going?
Mark asked, still lost in the labyrinth of his unsettling experience.
Let's go out for dinner. Don't worry. Nothing bad is going to happen to you. That's my promise.
She replied, a tender smile gracing her lips before she leaned in and pressed a soft kiss to his cheek, an assurance that everything would be all right. Or so she thought. If you liked our short story, please hit the like button. If you want more of our original short stories, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Facebook. That's it for now, fellow night owls. Until next time, good night, sleep tight, keep the mirror out of your sight.